Alright, we're not getting any younger. So, here I am. It's Mitch Wayne's World. I appreciate you for joining me here. Some scary music just came on in my headphones, so I'm just gonna go ahead and change that on over. Because we were on chill vibes and then we got off of them for some reason. So, what's up, dude? Girl? Ladies, gentlemen? I'm wearing shorts. If you know who you are, Jimothy. If you're watching this and you want to see some leg, there you go, brother. First 5 minutes, you don't even need to watch the rest of this. There you go. You got some legs. But what's up? What is really, really good? It's crazy. I was sitting here before. Oh, that is not what I thought it was. I was sitting here before recording this, and sometimes I'm like, I got the energy, I'm in the right spot, I got it, and then I start sitting down to record and I just like don't got it, and it's not there. And it's so interesting, and that's part of the reason why I'm like, you gotta stay consistent, you gotta keep doing it, and just weird learning about your brain's patterns and things like that. And just like I said, I've just been sitting with myself, I've just been learning about myself, learning about the universe, taking everything in as a 25-year-old man does or should. And it's just interesting to see the patterns that I see emerging in myself, and how, I don't know, sometimes you just get caught living life, living like Larry, and then you end up nothing's too crazy. It is just crazy how scatterbrained I get, and how this is why I'm going to start recording. I'm going to stop forcing. Again, this is going to be another short episode, but that's what it's going to be. Because in this relationship that I'm building with myself and with this platform, I am not going to force anything, actually. In fact, I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to finesse. This is all about finesse and focus over here in Mitch Wayne's World. That's what we do. That's what we live by. So you already know what it is. There was more I had to that, but like I said, I've been super scatterbrained, and I think maybe it's this music in my headphones. Let's go over here. Let's see what's up on this. Yeah, that's more high energy, brother. So we're over here in chaos land, living in chaos world, and our brains just don't really work. Someone told me that I should drink some water with some salt in it, and I'm probably gonna do that because I might be dehydrated. I also have been ripping reef, bro. Ripping reef and drinking a lot of alcohol, and that'll definitely make you feel stupid. Not sleeping enough. Listen, I've just been pushing it to the edge. I went from being so, no, I don't know. I've always liked to party and engage in a good time. That's what your boy Mitch Wayne likes to do. But I don't know. I was talking about finessing. I forgot why I was talking about finessing, but you just gotta be smarter. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, not forcing things. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're not forcing things, and it's good to be consistent, and that's why I have forced myself to record this on Sunday. But then it just makes it less quality. Like, I don't know. I just don't work as well with that. I feel like, or maybe if I was just more disciplined with my approach to it, but also, between working and then trying to have a life and all those things, you got to sacrifice certain things, and I'm trying to figure out what exact parts of my life I want to sacrifice in order to make the things happen that I want to happen with this, because I really enjoy doing this. Like I said, I want to start doing some different stuff, but I got to find the time to do it. I got to make it happen, and I don't know, I'm sure that's something everyone has, some sort of passion project, or not everyone. People who don't have something that they are passionate about too, and it doesn't have to be some grandiose thing. Like, you don't have to want to be some millionaire or something. In fact, that shouldn't be the case either. But people who don't have something on the side that they like to do, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. But there's plenty of them. There's plenty of them, and they just live life day by day, and that's good for them. Nothing against them. Good for them. They're probably happier than me, but it is what it is. Yeah, just not forcing as much. I think it just would be I just want to have a healthy relationship with this here thing, and I think it's just been an interesting journey I've had in general with entertainment and content creation and doing stuff like this since, I mean, dude, I feel like an old man when I start talking about it because I think I started doing this kind of stuff when I was like 18, 19, and then I started doing it for myself, like making gaming videos and stuff when I was like 20, 21 for like a year, and then I stopped for like a year and a half, 2 years, and now I came back, and it was weird because it was at the, obviously timing of going through a bad breakup and all those things, and it was like therapy for me and myself. So that's why I forced myself to be consistent with it, because this is like my home. This is what I care about. This is my one true love currently at the moment, and I'm really happy to be in that spot. But with that being said, I don't want to create resentment between myself and the one thing that has super always been there for me and always will be there for me. So I got to figure out how I want to go about taking the next step within this fun little journey, this little Mitch Wayne's world we have here. I guess it's a podcast now, dude. It's just the easiest way to explain it. We're just talking. I just hate it. I'm not that guy. It's gonna be more fun and creative than that, but I gotta make it like that. So it is what it is. I just want it to be it is what it is. I don't like labels. Who likes labels these days, huh? I'm sure you've heard someone like me say that to you before. I don't like labels, but I don't know, like labels are just like an outdated concept, So what's been going on this week? I'll don't you worry, I'll ramble on about that nonsense later. But, this is Mitch Wayne's World. We talk about a few different things here. And for those of you who don't know, it's the NBA playoffs, all right? So we're going to talk about a little bit of technology later. We actually had a good one for you today. But it's the playoffs, the NBA playoffs. One of my favorite parts of the year, actually. I don't really watch I love watching basketball, but I don't, follow it super hard until, typically, after the All-Star break. And then I really watched in the playoffs and stuff, and I'm a Dallas boy. I'm a Mavs fan, and me and Matthew Jaffe, if you're out there, mwah, we went to the Mavericks game, but that was my probably best sports experience in my life. I don't have a ton of favorite teams and stuff like that, so and. I love, I grew up playing football more so than basketball, but I like basketball more. And the Mavs are the only team that I've ever really felt comfortable just being yeah, sure, I guess I'm a Mavs fan. Because they just have, they're a good franchise to like. And I like Mark Cuban, and I love Kyrie Irving. And listen, Kyrie, and of course, Luka Doncic, you know what I'm saying? It's a white boy summer. You know what I'm talking about? How could it not be? But they lost today. But to go into the game on Friday, boy, American Airlines Center was jumping. I don't know. There's something about, it's so crazy because people who don't understand sports, and I hate when people who don't, like sports have this, superiority complex about themselves. Could you imagine being so stupid that you like to, jump around and watch people throw a ball? I'm could you imagine being so stupid that you can't enjoy something? So fake intellectual. But anyways, what see, this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Do I need more sleep? Why does my brain just stop working in the middle of a sentence? Playoff basketball. Oh, it's weird to go and sit in a stadium and cheer on a team, but it's also so cool and so fun. And the Mavs ran it up on them on Friday. However, they lost today, so I think the series is sitting at 2-2, taking it back to LA. And like, I don't know, it's just, and they're just such a fun team to watch this year. The playoffs in general are really, really fun to watch this year. Like, I don't know, if you don't usually watch the NBA or whatever, there's just like so many good storylines. You got LeBron in possibly one of his last playoffs ever. You got a bunch of new young talent. You got Luka and Kyrie just doing magic, just doing crazy things. They're so fun to watch, bro. I love Anthony Edwards. He just got hood ass energy, and you know what? The NBA's been needing that like real good hood ass energy for a minute. You can hear the music guys listen to. And who else? You got a lot of people to hate on. There's plenty of people to hate on, and that's always fun. You know, what would the NBA without what would having people to hate on? And yeah, basketball's just a fun sport. It's I wish that you didn't have to be so tall to play at a high level. You know, like I'm 6'3", and then your boy is short for basketball. I did not have the handles to be a good hooper. One bit. But you could catch me. You could catch me at the pickup games, white boy in the corner. You know, and yeah, I don't know. It's really fun to watch. OKC is really fun to watch. I used to be a huge OKC fan when I was younger. When they had KD, Russ, and Westbrook, or Russ and Harden, and then I stopped because they sucked for a while. And I really wish I would have kept being an OKC fan. I really wish I would have kept being an OKC fan, because then I could enjoy them now. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with the Mavs. I'm riding for the Mavs. And that's what I do. And let's see. That's my playoff analysis. If you want some good playoff analysis, I don't know, go to Stephen A. Smith. This is not what you come here for. You come here to just see me ramble about nothing. All right? So what? You want playoff analysis? I could tell you whose swag I like the most. And currently, I don't know. I love the way Kyrie handles himself. Bro's just a competitor. He just gets in there. He just doesn't, and he's never bitching. And when he is, he's smiling. And he's always like, all right, I got it. Yeah, he's just blessed. He walks with the light of God. Anthony Edwards, his swag is just like, he's the type of dude that when he showed up, you know, he probably grown up had no drip, none, zero, shitty ass shoes, no shooting sleeves, no nothing or whatever. But you knew he had his hoodie on over his head, like over it, and you knew he was just gonna be a menace to play against. It didn't matter what sport or whatever. You just knew that it was like, bro, all right, we're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to work for this win. They got that dude, and I just like that kind of swag. There's a lot of people in the NBA that really piss me off, but I don't want to talk about them because I don't want to spread hate out there in the world. But some of these people are crazy, bro. They're just out here acting like grown-ass toddlers. But it is really interesting. I like, removing myself from the emotion of being a fan and just kind of like look at it's just a great show. The NBA is a really good show, and all the betting and all the this and all of that, you know. It's really easy to sit and critique stuff and be like, oh, this and that and hate and whatever and have at it. Sometimes it's fun, but that's like part of that. They're just like, capitalism is a beautiful thing, brother, and it's got its ugly parts, but it's also just like, it works, and it sadly works because human beings are incredibly flawed, but so are like, yeah, nature is just this crazy, cyclical, wild, trippy thing, and even unnatural concepts that we create can't escape the laws of nature. So that's my take on the NBA playoffs. Entertainment. It's some of the best entertainment. And following the Caitlin Clark saga in March Madness and all that, like, come on, bro. You can't write better storylines. Listen, let's say it all is scripted. Let's say the NBA, NFL, it all is scripted. These fools are great writers. Now you know why all these movies suck and all that, because the NBA and NFL have been hiring all the good script writers. There you go. All right. On to the next. I guess we'll talk about we could talk about a little bit of technology. Like, I'm really not gonna try to go for too long here, just because, like I said, I'm not gonna force this. I don't want to ramble on. I want to go. I'm not even gonna call this quality, but we'll call this consistency over quantity. How about that? Consistency over quantity instead of quality. We'll get to the qual later. I've got a tiered thing, but right now, honestly, the consistency is all I care about. And I don't want to sometimes I just like overdo stuff. So I have this problem with overthinking stuff in my life. And like, I kind of want to just put this out there. I'm going to finish this website here soon. Start doing a little bit more, having some conversations with people. And yeah, you'll see. I'm going to do a little bit extra with the edits, but nothing too crazy. I just want a formula. I just want to keep doing this. And we can watch each other grow, you know? I feel like even in these past 2 months, like I've grown so much. I don't know. I don't know. Part of it has been, you know, having to sit and just reflect and talk with myself about stuff. And there is something like really interesting to that. And it's also weird because honestly, the people that watch it now, it's like such an intimate group of people for the most part, besides the like random here and there. And so like, it's mainly people that like know me, but like aren't like in my close circle. Some of y'all are. I don't know. It's cool. But we're going to get it popping one day. And then I'm just going to expose. This is the beautiful thing. No one will ever be able to expose me because I'm just going to continuously expose myself. How about that? But yeah, we could talk about a little bit of technology, all right? So I asked my good friend over here, Jerry Perry Terryton III, ChatGPT, can you give me an interesting HCI, human-computer interaction / tech-related fact from this day in history? And clear my throat. ChatGPT said, on April 28th, 2003, Apple launched the iTunes Music Store, revolutionizing the music industry and the way music was distributed and consumed. The launch not only provided a legal alternative to the rampant music piracy of the time, but also introduced the concept of buying individual songs for 99 cents each, setting a precedent for digital media consumption. This move was crucial in shaping digital rights management and impacted the broader tech and media landscapes, influencing how content is distributed across various digital platforms today. This was a significant event in the context of human-computer interaction, as it highlighted user experience and interface design in a commercial platform that seamlessly integrated with personal devices like the iPod. Now, as I was reading this, yeah, and then here's our little pixel art design that I asked it to make. So I asked ChatGPT to make a pixel art design for me of this little light of mine, and there you go. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. That's the first. Sometimes they don't make a lot of sense because, you know, it's AI and it doesn't really understand like contextually what I'm asking it to do, because I like the randomness of it. I'm not trying to overdo it. Just see what happens, you know. But this one made sense and was cool. So, there you go. But then the other thing, a couple things. One, I'm gonna talk about this. But two, I guess one is gonna be, this is why I need to prepare more. I just need to write my thoughts out a little bit more. Maybe my bullet points or something, just because. Whenever I do these, I just literally pull them up like right before I start recording. So whenever I'm reading it, sometimes I'm like, damn, I actually have like so many different thoughts on this concept, but I don't have the time to like piece them together, and I don't want to sit here and just like fumble my words because it's 11:30 at night and I need to go to bed because I've been perpetually behind in life. But yeah, so we'll get to that in a second. But Apple launched the iTunes Music Store on April 28th, 2003. This is probably the first tech fact, HCI fact in history that I've come up, or that I've gotten, that I feel like I've been able to like really understand and think about it in a way that like I don't have expertise in, but I have like a deeper understanding of how this technology works and how this has set a precedent compared to, stuff in like the 60s and 70s. And, even 80s, 90s not as much because you start seeing a little bit more of like the internet that we have today. But 60s and 70s, there's so much like hardware and hard technology and stuff like that I don't, it's not my thing. And I wasn't around. I don't know. Obviously 2003, I was a child. Excuse me. I was a child, a small one at that, but I grew up in the world that was heavily influenced by that. So it's really crazy. That was 21 years ago. I was just a 4-year-old youngin'. And at the time, that was when Napster, LimeWire, all that stuff was happening. In fact, Napster was around for a minute. When did Napster started June 1st, 1999. When did Napster die? 2001? What? Really? No way. So Napster was only around for 2 years? Whoa. Okay, so this comes 2 years after Napster, and then there was like Frostbite and LimeWire and all those other piracy services that eventually would give your computer AIDS. But, like buying stuff online was like not even really that popular at the time, much less like buying music. And like, yeah, again, it sets this like crazy precedent for digital rights management because there was never this, like you didn't really pay for digital music, you could just listen to it. And it's funny because I don't really remember that as much. Luckily I have an older brother who's like 8 years older than me, so like through him I get a lot of secondhand experience of like being an actual 90s kid. But when we just the Apple App Store, which is obviously an evolution from the music store, completely revolutionized the way that like monetization for companies even became a thing. Like it's just really crazy to think of like think of how quickly humanity, or at least like humans in our sphere of the world, have like changed their just like what the basic facts of life are. And like I don't know, I guess if we broke it down into layers, like there's like layer 1 facts of life where it's like you need to eat, drink, have shelter, all that's, the Maslow hierarchy of needs or whatever, but not that stuff. But then like layer 2 is like the like social norms and like all of the thing, like just the technologies that we use on a day-to-day basis and stuff like that. And like it's crazy. Like everyone, when I tell people what I studied or whatever, and they're like, oh my gosh, are you gonna like make apps? And I'm like, bro, no. Like, what is that? Like, what? But we live in just that. I don't know if I'm conveying this idea properly, but like to my generation, it seems stupid that you wouldn't be able to just stream music. Like, why would you not be able to do that? What do you mean? And like, it's crazy how quickly like most people, like, yeah, we still joke about it or whatever, but it's like boomers love to joke our generation is so whiny and complain about this and that or whatever, but watch a boomer's phone not work and how quickly they melt down. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting. Like, they say that we can't live without our phones and stuff like that. And there's definitely like plenty of shit to be said about that. But it's just very interesting. The same people that say that also are the same people that I'm like, yeah, but you too, because we've like weirdly adapted to this new way of life like super quickly. And it is what it is. And it's really cool. It's kind of scary, but you know, it is what it is. And then also when you talk about the impact on the music industry that had, and I mean, it was kind of short lived. I bet that artists were raking it in whenever like they were making $1 a song, or maybe not. Maybe they were still getting hoed. Probably, I don't really know actually. But it just seems like if you were paying $1 a song, like it seems like the mid-level artists probably were making a lot more money. I'm trying to think, like a Drake probably makes more money from like streaming, but a mid-level artist probably definitely makes more money. How many songs are an album? Like $13 an album. Let's say like yeah, for sure. That would be really cool. I guess you can still sell your music, but then, you know, streaming comes along after that, and again, like we just take this so for granted of like, again, digital rights management and that kind of stuff, and it still is in process of like nothing is set in stone. And you know, now there's blockchain technology that's gonna bring a lot of new capabilities or avenues, or I don't necessarily know the word, but when it comes to owning digital things and stuff like that, and yeah, everyone loves to hate on NFTs or whatever, and it's really funny how it'll kind of go back in the, you know, it came into the limelight once, people hated on it, then it comes back into the limelight, people hated on it, and then it'll come back in the limelight. But the final time it comes back into the limelight, it's not going to come back as NFTs, it's going to come back as some other thing. And then people are going to be like, oh my God, these are so cool, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be like, oh yeah, remember, like, I mean, we're literally talking about this right now. Like I was talking about Napster, and then we have the iTunes Music Store, and now we all listen on Spotify. So there you go. That's just this like weird little it's like when hype cycles and the actual technology, like they have to like meet an inflection point, I guess, or whatever. That I don't know if inflection point is the proper term for that, but yeah, that's my spiel. I feel like I could go a little bit further on this, but also I don't want to get too far off and not make cohesive sense, because less is more sometimes. It's just, there's so many different ways that you could talk about the way that the iTunes Music Store, like really, really changed just the way people started to, I mean, it's like addictive, right? It's like, whoa, it's like a crack dealer when they give out like just a little sample because they know you're going to be coming back, or a coke dealer, whatever. It doesn't have to be crack. Crack is just so like, got that punch, like he smokes crack or he does coke. But anyways, it's like a crack dealer, you know, they give out just a little bit. It's like, you want to just be able to download music right on your phone, right on your iPod or your computer. And then we're like, yeah. And then they just keep making it easier and easier and easier. And I feel like when some people start saying stuff like that, they say it in this like sinister, bad way. I'm not saying it in a sinister, bad way at all. I mean, like, again, capitalism's crazy, brother. Just like the NBA and the NFL got all these script writers. You best believe, I mean, like, HCI wasn't a real field. It's barely just now a field. And Apple is one of the forefront, you know, leaders of human-computer interaction, very obviously. In fact, I mean, yeah, you could do a million different case studies on the different products that Apple's created and their contributions to human-computer interaction, especially from a design perspective. And the iTunes Music Store is one of them, you know? So it's very interesting to think, you know, what comes after Spotify? Does something come after Spotify? Or have we reached, you know, the plateau point? It's very interesting. I think it's very possible that, you know, we think that tech is kind of like going to go on digital technology is going to go on like continuing, expanding like forever and ever and ever. But it's very possible that we're coming close to like a plateau point, and then a different kind of technology like nuclear, you know, fusion. I think we have fission figured out. I don't know. Nuclear fusion comes along, and then there's a bunch of advancement there. And then, like, I don't know. It's just interesting. We just think it's just very obvious for us to look at it now and just be like, oh, imagine what it's going to be like in 50 years. And it's like, well, I mean, cars, like, besides, like, okay, what a car is 50 years ago versus now is not as different as to what a car is to a horse. The only thing that we've applied to cars that make them different is digital technology, like software and stuff like that. But the software was its own development, and then we added them on to cars. Now, someone who knows a lot about cars or whatever, I'm sure that there's like different things with like engines and stuff like that that have come in the past 50 years. But the overall thing is been relatively the same. Just like in the opposite, like a computer now versus a computer 50 years ago is like a completely different thing. And then even like that, like a computer is like a completely different thing than a book, like a car to a horse. So I don't know. That's an interesting concept. And, we could just be using YouTube and Spotify for the next like 50 years instead of just thinking like, it's just going to be like the next 5 and then there's going to be a new thing like, ooh. And we could just be using like Instagram and whatever for the next like 20, oh God, kill me. But, it is what it is. We're approaching about 30 minutes, and I think, 30 to 45 minutes is a good time for these episodes. And I'm done with my yapping. I want to get to napping. So, this is another thing that I'm trying to find a balance between all sorts of things, and kind of what I was talking about earlier when it comes to not creating resentment with the podding and I need a different thing to call this other than a podcast, just because it gives me so much. No, we're not labeling it with this unlabeled show here. Not creating resentment with that or whatever. It's just like, I don't know, balancing between having structure and discipline and being on top of my shit, and then also just like kind of going with the flow and breeding, serendipity in my life and allowing things to just happen as they may. Because I definitely am a very go with the flow kind of person. I like to just kind of live life and let that see where it takes me. And I think that's gotten me into, a lot of people who know me, one thing that people always say, like, dude, you've lived like a bunch of different random lives. And I like doing that. It's fun to speed run different lifestyles. But that can also get you into a lot of trouble, especially when you're just kind of going and not really thinking about what is influencing you. And then also too, not thinking about the influence that you impress upon other people in your life and the way that you have poorly or positively influenced other people in your life, So going with the flow is great, and it's very natural to me. But then I've also, dated people or had people in my life that are extremely disciplined and stay on top of their shit and kind of like keep me in check and whatever. And there's a lot of positive to that too. And it's an interesting thing because I personally, like, it becomes very negative to me whenever I'm too structured and I'm too disciplined and I just keep the same thing. I become like really antsy and like depressed and feel like life has no like purpose or whatever. Like I'm not fulfilling like my purpose. But then when I get too flowy and stuff like that, all of a sudden I look around and I'm like, oh man, I've been on demon time for 2 months or however long, and now I have ruined XYZ thing in my life. So I'm kind of, reaching another point. I'm reaching a point in my life right now where, 2 months ago I was so depressed, so down bad. You could go see it. It was on video. I mean, bro, to the point where people were like, yo, that was the saddest we done ever fucking seen you. That's crazy. And then it was crazy, and it was the saddest I ever was because, you work so hard, you get to a point, you think life's good, you think you got it, and then life gives you a little dick slap across the mouth, and you're like, hold up. And I get sad about weird shit. I can handle like hard, scary, sad shit all the time. That's not my problem. I don't handle like emotional stress well. We know about this. But then the next month, this past month, like I've been reemerging in my social life and enjoying myself. And then, like pushing it a little too hard. And then my neighbors, bro, they still make noise. They were supposed to move. I don't know why they're still making noise. They were supposed to move, bro. They need to go sleep because I'm about to go to sleep and it's about to get popping if they don't. But just kidding. I shouldn't say that. It's not about to get popping. But then, I reemerged. I wasn't as depressed. I was popping back out. I was getting in motion in a positive way. But even then, it's not about like, luckily I have been being positive and doing the right thing by myself. And that's been something that I've had plenty of opportunity to not. And, I'm not perfect. I've been doing dumb shit like staying up to like 4 a.m. and like drinking a bunch, which is not very good for your soul. But when you do it with your friends and you don't have the wrong intention with it, it is very different than when you do it with the wrong intention, for sure. So I don't know. I guess what I do with Cumulative and Middle with Mitch Wayne's World will be a reflection on how well I'm balancing everything, because it is the perfect representation of going with the flow and breeding serendipity and creativity and enjoying life, living a curated life. Obviously, that's what I'm trying to do here, but then also being disciplined and structured, because you don't you can't make a video without editing it, being a little bit structured and disciplined, and then actually creating the world around this that I want to create a little bit better. So I guess we'll see. This week, Mavs in 6. Come on, boys. We got this. Turn up. I'm just, like I said, I'm going to keep finding balance. I'm going to focus on the things that help me. I'm trying to, keep cultivating. I think I got a little too comfy, a little too not depressed, you know what I'm saying? And that's good. But I need to not let that energy let me float away. I get flighty and floaty, and I need to weigh myself down instead of trying to have someone weigh me down. You know what I'm saying? I need to weigh myself down in a good way, in a positive way, so that I got the finesse part down. Finesse I got. The focus part is what I'm trying to really drill in now. So that's what I'm doing this week. I've been finessing, but now I'm focusing. All right. Peace.